how goes?
Not bad. How are you?
Well, all right, I suppose. Just trying to entertain the cat.
Entertain the cat.
Yep, he parked right there. Well, I appreciated that April Fool's joke from Elite. That was pretty amusing. Explains a lot.
Heretics.
Heretics. And I poked around a little bit with Planet Crafter. It's not bad. It's damn O2 tank is frustratingly small, but it's not bad.
Well, you get upgrades for that.
Yeah, I've been upgrading it, but it's still frustratingly small. And Christ, I think for all the effort that goes into building those upgrades, I just make it build really long hose, like the divers of old. I haven't found a way to make space food yet, which is concerning. That seems to be the one thing that'll kill you permanently so far. No food, no life. So it's just strange. You got those seeds, you can grow something, but yeah, just not the same as Tang, I guess.
You grow gives more life than except for with one exception, the food you grow gives more life than the space food does. So
yeah, I'm just not at the point where I'm growing food. I'm growing plants that create oxygen, and that's not the same thing.
yeah.
So, but yeah, I figured I just need to hold out.
How,
Hello, how's it going?
how are you two today?
Yeah, present.
Okay. That's an interesting answer. Very accurate, completely truthful.
Well,
Not
it's
be
just been
denied.
it is just one of those days, weeks, months. I mean, hell, April just got started.
What's on the docket today?
If our DM shows, it'll be Cyberpunk.
Okay. I was playing games with Cedric, but I don't know if he'll join us.
Yeah,
He
he
says
is
he doesn't know what's going on anymore. Like,
He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to. He just needs to wave the big stick around, the justice stick.
Hey, Pegg just got in. Oh, there he is.
Hey, Pegg.
Howdy.
Mr. Pig.
I don't mean to be late.
Everybody else is. Join the crowd. I think C said he wasn't available this week.
Yeah, he's on a camping adventure, which I wonder how that went with the storms that came through.
Oh, God. Yeah, no kidding. I didn't know it was camping.
Yeah.
Well, stay dry. And howdy, Logan.
Hello.
How goes? And Steven is apparently playing Valheim. I'm going to ping him here shortly.
I'm awake.
Hello.
I got a couple more
I think you said I've got static, Valheim related static. Oh, what are you doing, Cat? What are you doing, Cat?
Well, I'm ready to go if y'all are.
I liked the Elite Dangerous April Fool's joke.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. Actually, that would be right up your alley, Peg, if you hadn't seen it.
What's that?
Where'd you post it? E?
It's in the new Saturday Night Gaming chat.
Oh, I see it. Warhammer 40K.
Yeah.
World of Tanks did something where they actually had 40K tanks in there for an event.
That's pretty cool.
I think the best example of that I've seen that was World of Warships a few years ago, and they actually had like the model in. They had video of the model in the game and firing on other warships and things like that, and they had the EDF Yamato, the space cruiser.
Did they fire every way militia?
So I'm going to start things off a little differently. So last session, Damone actually wasn't with y'all. During everything that's been going on between him and Max, is really, really drained Damone.
He's in his blues phase, as Lud likes to say.
Yeah. So, not that far from this bunker, Damone kind of discovered this little motel. There's some seedy people here. People, outcasts, nomads, but everyone comes out here. But the thing that drew Damone here is that there is actually a basement as a bar
Oh, hell yeah.
where Damone can play.
There's no better shit for the
So, this is an environment you find yourself in, bar, a dive bar, all sorts of people, a band willing to play with you. This is Bob's bar.
complete with guys collapsed in the corner. Oh my God.
There's a lot going on in here.
Yeah. Perfect.
But this is just one of those places you find yourself at peace whenever you get in an argument with Max or felt, PO'd. You came here and you played with the local band here. And, you didn't care if people paid attention or watched. It was mainly you getting that anger out. And, sometimes you'd overhear people talking, you'd overhear rumors. You have, all kinds, corpos, druggies, gangers, all over. You hear some talking about how things are getting in Night City, certain areas. It's like, oh, it's like worse than normal. And of course, that just makes you want to play more. So one day while you're down here playing a set, you notice that there's not as lot of nomads. Typically, there's nomads here. And I kind of struck you as odd because this is kind of their territory. You're out, in the middle, the Badlands of Night City. This is their territory.
There should be more nomads than not, actually. Yeah.
Exactly. So that immediately is like weird, but same time, whatever. I'm here to play.
Mm-hmm.
So about that time, you finish your set, you head back out to the main area, and typically CD people, you have a few gang members picking out fights. A sheriff deputy comes around, breaks it up, but you notice a huge convoy of vehicles go by, which they're all military-esque. They don't say Militech or Kangtao or anything, or Arasaka. They're all black. Convoy out. Weird, but not unusual. It's Night City. Someone's trying to sneak something out. They're not going to make it known. Well, then you hear gunfire, explosions in the distance. Something has occurred.
Which direction?
From where you came from originally, the bunker.
All right. Yeah, that's worth checking out. So I'll go downstairs real quick and tell Bob, hey, I got something come up.
Bob goes, yeah. He just goes,
yeah.
He don't talk much.
He don't talk much. Back up and grab a bike. That's the one major investment Damone had. He actually purchased a motorcycle.
Yeah.
And head out, not over the road, but through the Badlands, back way towards the bunker, and take it slow and careful.
Yeah. So as you're driving, you notice, the gunfire eventually fades, then picks back up, fades, picks back up, and you're hearing explosions and everything like that on the way. And then eventually, nothing. You hear just this deafening explosion. When it's loud, you feel the shockwave while on the bike,
Hell.
you know. And then there's more. Another explosion, another shockwave, another explosion, another shockwave. So much so it kind of knocks you off your bike.
Hit it in the right direction.
And you know you are because you can see it, you know, almost like a mushroom cloud, but you know, the earth shakes underneath you almost like a tremor. Eventually it stops. But scares the hell out of you. Because, you know,
Everybody's in there. Yeah.
yeah. So you immediately get back on your bike and you take off. And eventually you kind of see, you know, airlift vehicles taking off, vehicles scattering. What's going on?
So it was that convoy that passed earlier.
Yeah.
And they're okay. Well, I can't take on an army, so I'll just try to get out of sight. Find myself a nice little outcropping, hide the bike, and wait it out. See what these guys do.
All right. So it doesn't take that long for a lot of it to disperse. And you notice the one thing you notice the most of is that there is more smoke than you realized. There's a lot of vehicles destroyed. So all you can think of is, was there a last stand? What happened here? And enough move off that you can clearly see there's not much left. There's like this small team outside of what was the entrance to the bunker.
Mm-hmm.
I got to move you here. Just
okay.
plumes of black smoke coming from this bunker. You see this destroyed turret right here. So you are actually seeing, you noticed, they must have had a bunch of these out here. That explains half the vehicles.
Yeah. Max was doing his thing.
And you notice these two, they're not really paying attention. They're kind of just walking around. You see them kind of walking toward each other. One pulls out a pack of smokes, hands with the other to light up. And they actually have, when they talk, their voice kind of sounds electronic, like they have they're wearing gas masks, but it's kind of like a exterior speaker.
Mm-hmm.
One goes,
Stormtrooper. Yeah.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. You kind of hear them talking, and it just sounds like nonsense. Then you hear one go, you think anyone survived in there? I don't know. But we're told to sweep the area until we figure it out. There ain't nothing in there but fire and rubble. Boss said there's something even further down. I don't know what it is, but we're supposed to guard the area till they can extract it.
Oh, yeah. And Damone knows what that is. Damn it.
And they're not paying any mind. They're just two grunts out.
Well, I don't want to get in a fight if I can help it. I knew all of the little cracks and crevices and back entrances to the base. Is there any...
Sorry. So you actually hear behind you a voice, very familiar. He slowly taps your shoulder and goes, don't scream. And you kind of...
You saw what he did.
You see barely, there's in a ghillie suit, is Deacon. He's got this powerful sniper rifle. He's been laying there for some time. You don't know, but he's probably crawled up next to you. You've just never noticed. And he kind of slowly stands up and he looks and he goes, Max texted me before everything went down. He told me to watch the area, see if anyone came by. I don't know if he was telling me to look for you or not, but here you are.
Damn it. You and Xander. Shakes his head. No, focus. Look, did you hear what he just said about something deeper down?
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm here.
Yeah, me too. Now, I mean, if there's nothing left of the guys, damn it, up top, then Jammer, she's still down there.
Deacon kind of looks at you and he goes, so there's some deals with the Aldecados.
Say what? What do they have to do with this?
Well, Max was having a deal with them to get something. Hold on. Looking for a red car.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
They go fast.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. But Deacon continues on and says, Max had a deal with the Aldecados to kind of transport a lot of his stuff out of the bunker. I guess he was foreseeing this. And he was trying to get them to get something out that was deeper in the bunker. He wouldn't say what it was, but apparently the Aldecados couldn't get the right equipment at the time. So,
Of course.
I've just been here waiting for the Aldecados to show up and secure the area.
Okay. But what about Jammer?
Who's Jammer?
Yeah. And he explains real quick. She's our nut runner. She's a quadriplegic. She's completely paralyzed. And she's what's down there with whatever you're talking about. If anybody survived this, the only hope is down there. Thing is, I don't even know how to get to her. There was an elevator that went down there, but I've never actually been down there myself.
Never thought of Max keeping someone against their will in a
No. It
bunker.
wasn't like that. It wasn't like that at all. Max actually loved the woman like a daughter. Old story. If we save her, she can tell you that herself.
All right. Well, all I've been told is to wait for the Aldecados to show up. Secure the area. Maybe they can fill me in.
Tell you what, then. You do your job and let me go out to Jammer. But I need a little bit of help. I don't want to get in a fight with anybody trying to figure out how to get down there to her. We probably don't want to take out these guys because that's going to alert the bad guys that something's up. So maybe help me with a distraction?
Yeah, I could probably do that.
And I'll try to sneak around them and.
So you see, he pulls out a clicker and goes, "I want to cover your ears."
Oh no, not more. Okay.
And you just see him go click, 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 and then you in the distance, boom, 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 multiple explosions. And
sure enough, they look.
Yeah, and they kind of go off, and you hear something in Sector 7. And he goes,
I run. I'm not even gonna wait. They move off. I'm just gonna sprint as fast as I can down there.
So first thing you do when you get in there is you notice there's just so much smoke and hard to see, hard to breathe.
I do have super like IR UV goggle things, so that might help a little. I do not have a gas mask or anything like that.
Okay. So that shouldn't be too much of a problem. So when you get in, so I'll actually clear that off, make it a little bit easier for you to see. So getting in, you notice several things. One, there's dead bodies everywhere. Can't really tell who because of the smoke.
And they got blasted to hell, no doubt.
Yes, actually. So, I need to move the dang thing. So clear out the smoke so make it easier for you to see. So there was all the vehicles are gone.
Well, that's
that
good or
used to
bad.
be there. So there's several holes in the floor. Go down, and you can see, one there. You kind of look. There's some smoke coming out of there, but there's air. So something's down there.
Ah, crap. I need a rope or something. Surely he's got a rope or something in this. If we can go through the rubble and of crates and supplies.
So there is still some crates over here.
So pick my way over there, coughing and wheezing, and try to tie something around my face. Keep some of the smoke out. Look for a rope.
So you'll actually digging around, you find a lot actually in there.
It's not like I've ever gone spelunking before, but find something that looks like it's not going to shift to tie it off and throw it on down in there and hope for the best.
No, that's kind of what you do. So, as you're going, it doesn't, there doesn't get thicker with smoke. It actually kind of evens out. It kind of gets easier to breathe. Obviously, something has been knocked loose to where, okay, either a whole cavern's down here and there's fresh air pulling the smoke out through a channel, or this is a bottomless pit. As you keep going down, you actually, well, as you keep going down, you kind of notice, okay, there's metal. I can see it. It's not dark down here. And you actually hit ground.
I do have a flashlight, so click.
And you actually find yourself near a light switch. You flip it on. You flip it on, you kind of, all these lights turn on. You find yourself in this
Holy hell.
kind of area. And yes, there's an APC right there.
Oh, crap. Is it like on a cargo elevator or just sitting there? I mean, how did it get down here?
So you notice this is kind of like a road, almost like through a tunnel. Now, this has been sitting here for a while. Either this was one of Max's escape plans. You don't know.
Crap. Well, we'll worry about it later. Look around. Try to see if we can find jammer, computers, that sort of thing.
So there's a bunch of computers here, and yeah, all these computers, some of them are still on.
Didn't make my way in there.
You have no idea who was working in here. You're kind of like two parts, like, what the? How long has this been here? And you actually hear from one of these computers, hello? Is anyone there?
That's Jammer's mechanical voice.
Yes.
Hey, yeah, it's Jammer. Can you hear me? It's Damone.
Yes, I hear you. I also see you. What are you doing here?
Looking for you.
You have found me.
He looks around. Okay, where exactly are you?
Well, technically, I'm everywhere now. I've uploaded a subroutine to where, in case of bodily damage to my body, I could become more of a AI, VI type entity and still help you. Because, unfortunately, my containment is damaged. This was always the backup. That way, if I was gone, I was never truly away. And I could still help you.
He kind of looks away. He doesn't know about black eyes or any of that stuff. So, wait, so you're the computer now? Are you dead?
I'm not dead yet. My containment was damaged. Soon, my life support will stop.
Got it. Where is it?
It's in this next room. So
He doesn't stop. He doesn't hesitate. He goes in there. All right. Just kind of walk me through this.
So she's basically in this capsule, kind of like you saw before, that basement drug lab, and she's basically just floating in it. Now, she, as you're opening the door, she goes, "If you wish to save me, there might be a solution."
Okay.
She goes, "I am compromised, not just from the damage to the tank, but my body is compromised. We do not have easy means to transport me. However, there is a way."
Okay.
And she kind of uploads some stuff. And there in the room, there is kind of like an external frame type rig. And she kind of explains if you can, set it up safely, detach her from the tube and attach her to the frame.
You'll walk yourself out.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
And basically, she's walking you through every step.
It's good because he doesn't know a damn thing about this stuff. So
It's like, cut the red wire, the red wire, the red wire.
Everything's red in here. It's like red alert. Come on.
One is a slightly darker red. Cut that one.
Oh, okay. So they work through it. He's got the
So-
flashlight in one eye.
Exactly.
Where's Sparky
So-
when you need him?
So easily enough, through trial and error, you're able to get her out and into this frame. And it takes it a minute to, there's silence in the moments between hooking her up. And eventually, you see it move. And she stands up and she does this number. And there's, best way to describe it's, like Elysium. There's a joint for every finger on this frame. You can tell she doesn't really have full motion of her actual fingers, but this frame helps.
Mm-hmm.
And she stands up and she touches. There's a box basically, and goes, "That worked. Very good, Demon. You have saved me."
Not yet. You haven't seen what's up there. Well, you have, but we still got to get you out. He looks over through the doors at the APC. Maybe any way we could use that to get out of here?
Yes. This was always a fallback for Max if things went wrong, which
They
They
did
did.
wrong.
And she goes, "The original plan was some nomads from the Aldecado clan would come, move the tank into this vehicle and escort me to their camp. There I would be safe and away. But some issues arose between contracts between Max and the Aldecados. They didn't want to risk it. So I was still here when things happened. But thankfully, I'm still alive thanks to you."
Again, we still have to get out of here. So how do we do this? I mean, I assume it's functional. But how do you actually drive it out of here? Does it look like a road to the ahead of it? Does that
She
go
goes-
someplace?
Yes. It went to Max's next point of contact in case things went wrong. My father.
What? I thought you. Never mind. You can explain this to me later. We just get out first.
So, you see her, she's really kind of testing her hands. And she's like, "They will require more tuning, but for now, this will do. Follow me."
Okay.
And she goes up to the truck, opens it up, and goes, "Buckle up, please."
Um. He looks around inside. Clearly, she is going to drive it. That's her plan.
Yes.
All right. Tell you what. Are the weapons on this thing working?
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to go try to figure out how to man one of the the top turret here.
And you kind of figure out very quickly. There's a camera attached to it. There's joysticks. You see some triggers. You pull it. It goes. Ba-da-da-da-da. You're like, oh, okay. Whoops. Don't do that again.
Don't do that again. All right. So buckle up. Let's go.
So you see her start it up, and she goes, one more thing. And she has like a comm bead in her ear, clicks it, and goes, Deacon, your services are not needed anymore. Please evacuate the area and go to your next known position. And you kind of hear, okay, who's this?
You better tell him it's the jammer I was telling you about.
When he hears your voice on the mic, he goes, oh, got it. Well, tell you what, I'll just take your bike so it's not left out here. And when I meet up with you, I'll give it back.
Thanks, Deacon.
It's like Deacon out, clicks. And you see Jammer revving it. She's like, hold on. And she, it just takes off. These aren't slow vehicles. And, the tunnel, dark, dark, dark. All of a sudden, a door opens, light. You see Night City. And all of its, glory. And you don't really see any vehicles, anything coming your way. And she looks at you and goes, oh, we will not need the turret now.
Oh, good. I was really not confident I would be able to shoot it anyway.
She laughs and says, no, they have left the area. I think they realize we are no longer there.
So he slumps down with relief, but then, did you see what happened to the others? I mean, the top side was just wrecked all to hell.
Yes, I did see what happened. They were able to escape. And she checks her things. They have uploaded my AI program. So they have obviously met my father.
You're going to have to explain that to me.
All will be revealed.
That's usually a bad sign when you hear that in a movie.
Yeah. So not that long, after she said that, you kind of get to this, it's still Night City, but it seems kind of like a less like housing on top of each other type area. This is obviously a nice part of town. And you pull up to what almost looks like an old dojo. And sure enough, you see a few gentlemen and geese staying outside. This gentleman right outside right inside the gate right here. And when he sees Jammer, he goes, he does a bow. He goes, Miss Tanaka, it is wonderful to see you again. Your father feared you dead.
He's not the only one.
And, she just calmly goes, I need to see my father. There's much to discuss. And when you see inside the gate, there's dead bodies everywhere. You don't know what has happened here. But
it's the motif of the day.
But all the bodies that they're kind of putting in the pile look like that. These little black-garbed, sword-wielding maniacs with bows.
Okay.
But Spyglass runs down and goes, Damone, you're here. Oh my God. I got it on camera. You got it on camera. You'll be able to see, but man, we were attacked by ninjas. Met one of the horsemen here. It's crazy. Oh, you gotta meet the owner of this place, and there's this man just kind of standing here looking away, but his arms are crossed.
Okay.
And he slowly turns around. That's what it looks like. And he goes, "Daughter, I thought you were dead. Am I seeing a ghost here? Or is it really you?" And he kind of pushes past these bodyguards to look at you. And he goes, "You're walking. That's impossible." "No." And he looks, he sees the frame, and goes, "This is Max's doing, yes?" And Jammer goes, "No, Father, this is my own. You know what caused me to lose the ability to function in the real world? This was a plan for me and Max for a long time to," and she kind of holds her hands up, and, I was close, "for me to move again. It is not perfect, but it will do for now." And he just shakes his head and goes, "I never should have taken Max in. You would still be walking." And he turns to you, Damon, and goes, "Who are you?"
I'm just some guy that's glad to see everybody's still alive,
"Well,
including your daughter."
yes. We just discovered a subroutine of her voice. I thought her long dead. I'm glad I was wrong. Come. There's much we need to discuss." And he kind of takes you to the dojo, and there's a lot of people here, all in various garbs, some in traditional gis, some, in body armor with weapons. And you go in, and it's actually really nice inside. And that bodyguard kind of comes with them inside. And everyone's around. He goes, "Now we are all here. We can go over a plan of what to do next." And he points to everyone. It's like, "Max had a beacon on him. It is still active. But where it's showing is deep within Night City, underground. He's alive, but barely. Obviously at a hideout or a base of operations for the Horsemen." He kind of turns around and he picks something up and looks back at the group. "Max has withheld some information from you, I'm afraid. When Max first came here..."
Seriously?
No. Max, no. And he looks at everyone and goes, "When Max first came here from Russia, he was but a waif on the streets. I, having been disgraced and fallen from my position with Arasaka, took him in and built what you see here. Max grew resentful for how his fall from grace occurred and wanted revenge, or at least to be a shot caller himself, to have the power which he thought he deserved. Former colleagues, friends, they took him from me in a way, filled his head with lies and poison. He himself was one of the Horsemen. Their job was, when Arasaka's tower was nuked, was to help keep a status quo in the city, to prevent another corporate war from breaking out. Each would be a representative from the biggest players. They would make people disappear, threaten the right people, keep certain business dealings going. But something happened. And all I can think is what happened to Jammer. When he left, she went with him. And something happened. She never walked again, or moved He is the reason that she was in that chair for most of her life. He was known as the Horseman of Death. What he is capable of doing to put him in that position, I don't know. I don't know if the title is just a title. But we have met war here. And as you have all made it known, you have met famine and plague. So, the question is he being replaced as Death with another horseman? Or have the horsemen completely forgotten their ways and their purpose and now wish to be the main power players in the city? I do not know. I have sent word to the few people in Arasaka's circle who I can trust. It seems that their actions are not of their will. So it's safe to assume that Arasaka is rogue. But
Well, Damone speaks up at this point. And during that conversation, he's glancing at Jammer and trying to gauge her reaction to what the elder is saying. The dad saying that observation. Dad is saying that Max was responsible for Jammer becoming paralyzed, and Jammer had a completely different story. Or rather, Max had a completely different story that Jammer herself never disagreed with. So I'm kind of wondering where the truth lies. But that's for another time. Out loud, he says, relates that conversation that we had with Pestilence in the hospital when we were trying to get that thing out of Xander's head. It seemed to indicate that they were acting rogue, and that it actually took direct intervention from Arasaka to get them to call him off.
so when you had that conversation, Jammer is very tense. Her arms are crossed. She's, you can tell if it's discomfort from her moving her body, and she's never had to do it before for a very long time. But Master Tanaka, scratches a beard and he goes, "So, Arasaka's war dogs have finally broken free from the leash. They would never come after Max without their approval, and I doubt they approved such a bold strike." And when he says that, his phone kind of goes off, and he goes and looks, and he puts it down and goes, "Arasaka has lost all contact with the horsemen operating within the city. They have lost control. I'm sure they will be more than willing to help us put an end to these people. They have decided to let us handle it, or if we're unsuccessful, they have someone who will. They won't tell me who, but I have a feeling. Well, no need. If what they say is true, they have already begun preparation to bring in their backup plan. But we shall make plans to find Max if you wish to, or just go after the horsemen in general. What say you?"
After looking around at the crowd,
Personally, I'd like to put this all behind us and get away from these guys, but they've made it very clear that they're not going to let us walk away from this.
yeah, we know too much. As little as we know too much. At least they think we do. I do have an observation. You said not long ago that you weren't sure whether the naming of the horsemen was emblematic of their capabilities. I think it is. Pestilence, for example, seemed to enjoy his gas concoctions, and War, of course, looking around at bodies of cyber ninjas, and Famine was all about the drug trade, which is devastating. Death. What do you think death could do? I don't know. This may be a leap, but I think Max is the most dangerous of the bunch. And I can't pretend to know what it's going through his head, but what could he do? It's probably not something that he has the capability of doing himself, but rather something he could cause be done, like nukes.
So Xander actually tells you what he saw in his rearview mirror when they escaped. You know, the doors, you know, literally Max stood by himself, you know, with a few weapons and just laid waste to people breaking through the bunker door until he eventually was outnumbered.
Well, he is formidable in his own right. But is that truly, if that were the case, then why not just take him out if he was rogue, if he was not part of their conspiracy? When they finally overcome him, they have no reason to keep him around. Unless they do. It's that unless they do part that bothers me.
That's when Jammer actually speaks up. Max was a very capable smuggler. He had ties still to the old country. He could get anything, including nukes. Old school, thanks, Cap. Old school cybernetics, weapons of any type. He definitely could bring death to any city. So it's not, he is more valuable alive just for his ability to obtain certain things. And they'll probably keep him alive just to get these contacts and reestablish connections. And then when they see fit, eliminate them.
So that puts the timer on Max. These guys are going about their business and establishing themselves throughout the city, yes, but the truly dangerous stuff, we have a fairly limited time to prevent. So that means Max. Max has to be first.
When you say that, Tanaka just goes, well, if that is the case, we'll have to make preparations. Yeah, you really are liking my computer tonight.
Let's get the keys and the clicks and the things.
The things. Oh, she's one snuggles. So basically, they kind of lay down on the screen in that wall. They kind of show a map of Night City, and they kind of show where it's almost like in the heart. It's underground. So Tanaka goes, it cannot be the sewers. No one would dare set up a base in such a toxic place. My theory is it's an old subway system that's been abandoned. There's a lot of layers to this city. It is like an onion. There are old waterways through there as well that are not the sewers.
And mention those tunnels that we found. So yeah, there's certainly plenty of evidence to support that idea.
Well then, now we have the fun of scouting out which tunnels leads to where he may be. Give me some time. I will find where he is. For that, he kind of dismisses you out. You kind of find yourself back out here. Everyone else, now what? Is everyone's thought.
The first thing is Damone to Jammer quietly, because hopefully the goons won't pick up with the conversation, is there's a lot more to this story with you and Max than even you're letting on.
So you can tell that actually makes her uneasy to talk about, but she nods her head and goes, yes. Yes, there is. And she kind of pulls you away and goes, "My father always wanted a son, but he had me. He still loved me, but he treated me differently. I do not hate him for that. Is who he is. When Max came, that was the son he never had. I was sent to the side. But Max never treated me differently. He saw I was hurt and cared about me. He lost his family, and the thought of me being pushed out of my own family because of his existence affected him. When he found a way out, he asked me to come with him. That he could give me a better life here. I believed him, and I joined him. Unfortunately, I found out what he was doing. And I didn't like it and wanted him to leave. He didn't want to, but he thought he could find a way to do it and come out richer for it, more powerful than the others. So he had a plan. And it worked. Except they had a contingency. I don't remember the accident or how it really happened. All I remember is waking up in a hospital, unable to move, barely able to talk. He found me, immediately took me away to, I can only guess was a secret bunker of his, not the one we were at before. He had bought me that chair and nursed me back to health in secret. He blamed himself for what happened, but I blamed myself because I wanted him to leave. But he wouldn't let me accept that blame. He took it upon himself. And he promised me that one day he would help me walk again.
He was right to take that blame upon himself because it was his choice. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm glad you're here. That's a hard road for anyone.
And I think regardless if Max survives or dies, I think he would appreciate that none of you gave up on me.
Well, you've never given up on us. Lord knows you had reason to. All right. That's at once less and more than what Damone was expecting. But it certainly explains everything. So he leaves her at that, and then kind of goes and finds where the others have kind of gravitated to in the what now field.
So yeah, everyone's kind of mulling about. They're kind of unsure of what they want to do because they feel kind of trapped. If that makes any sort of sense.
Oh yeah, I understand that feeling very well. I've been arguing with Max about it for weeks.
So they feel more trapped than normal, mainly because they're without Max. They're in the care of this Master Tanaka, and you know, this is all a contingency of Max's. They've never known this guy, and apparently he, that you can tell, there's still a little bit of bad blood between Max and him. So it is one of those, what do you do? You don't want to bring up Max, as it's like, is he gonna get mad and kung fu you to death, or will he just kick you out? So some time passes. You don't hear much left from any of the ninjas, anything like that. You're not attacked or anything like that. But eventually, Master Tanaka asks everyone to come into his office, and you see another gentleman kind of approach him and talk to him. This gentleman, definitely a business suit type, and they're conversing to one another, and they both kind of see everyone goes, come in, and Tanaka goes, forgive me, my friend Koga here was telling me of our current situation. Koga tells me of an individual that could help us find Max. He is a old netrunner that has worked as a freelance for a very long time. I do not know if you can trust him or not, but it is up to you if you wish to use this information. His name is Cantor. It's very hard to see picture. It's very grainy. He has been in the game for quite a while. He knows the game. He owns a bar in town. I believe if you were able to, you could get him to help. He's done a lot of freelance work, and the Horsemen have a lot. You see Tanaka check his watch and goes, the bar is closed right now, but he is there. He is always there, cleaning or drinking his own wares. I would suggest paying him a visit. It is up to you.
Look around at the others. We've had this, what next conversation for a while. Is there any particular reaction on faces here?
Ludwig is playing snakes on his phone.
All right, as per normal. And Jane, Alonzo,
I'm out of it. Distracted with whatever.
you're also playing snakes on your phone. Okay.
So he's a netrunner that might help us. How is it that he's supposed to be able to help us, where our other resident netrunner, who has proven to be very, very capable, is not? Is it just his contacts?
So when you ask that of Tanaka, he gives nothing away. He just says he is freelance.
Which, as far as Damon's concerned, gives everything away. He's not my daughter. Okay. He nods. Which was that's an excellent question from Jane. So, Alonzo, did you have any questions of Mr. Tanaka here? Master Tanaka?
Just no, not really.
So, Master Tanaka, if we find Max, what are your intentions concerning him?
If he is alive, save him. We will need him to defeat the Horsemen and regain control of the city. What you do with him after is of no concern of mine.
That is a complete answer. More than I expected. All right. Well, very well. Cantor is more of a lead than we had 10 minutes ago, so we can go visit this guy in his bar.
So, as everyone begins to leave, Jammer's actually coming with you. And Tanaka goes, not yet, daughter. I wish to speak with you alone. And you actually see her hesitate. And she kind of looks at y'all and goes, I'll be with you in a minute.
Actually, why don't you spend this time to work it out? This is just us trying to figure out where he is. We're not going after him yet.
She nods her head, and the bodyguard and the other individual Goga, they kind of come in, kind of ushering you out. They're leaving too. They don't want to be in there.
Yeah.
So everyone kind of loads up in their respective vehicles and heads out. And the bar is called Hot Shots. It doesn't take long to find it. And when you get there, Master Tanaka said that it was closed, but the door's unlocked. Owner leaves the front door unlocked. And when you get there, you notice there's only a few individuals in here, and they're all playing cards at this table. And this individual right here stands up when he sees y'all and goes, hey. Sorry, folks. I understand the front door is open, but the bar is closed. This is a private gathering between peers. If you could see your way out. Thanks.
Oh no, I have all this money and I'm an amateur at cards. Whatever will I do?
Amateur, you say? Well, we're all amateurs here.
It's knowing you, Mr. Wade.
What fortune? Mind if I play a hand?
If you got the cash to back it up, why not?
I'll head over to the table and join in.
So Lou, you go over there, and
It's still a bit odd to have this gaggle of people, right at the door.
I just give a knowing nod to the hot dog man.
he salutes back. So, when Lud, when you sit down, he actually goes, you know what? I got a lot of stands I gotta check in on. Here, you can have my seat, Miss Man. I don't know. He walks out and he nods to everyone when he walks past y'all. He makes his exit.
Stranger as I take his seat. So, am I inheriting a warm seat at the table or a cold one, guys?
The suit's very insulated, so it's actually cold.
Yes. It's probably
Well, that's too bad. Okay.
So, they start dealing out a hand, and Cantor kind of looks at you and goes, so, you got a lot of money. You must be a successful businessman, huh?
I do okay. I'm living comfortably.
Are we all? Play the hand. If everyone kind of bids in, waiting on the next card to be placed, and he's looking at his cards and goes, not a lot of people know about me in this business, except for a few handful of people. So did you just happen to want to drink and play cards, or somebody sends you for some money?
No, I'm not looking for money. Cards does sound great. Some of my friends here might need to hire some extra talent.
He's looking at his cards and he folds and goes, I see. Well, I hate to inform you, but I have been forcefully retired. I have a bit of an NDA out there, so to say, non-compete, if you will, by some powerful people.
I'm very familiar with those. Had to sign a few myself.
Yeah,
Fact.
good know.
Might say I kind of know all the ins and outs to get around those.
You don't say. Yeah. I tried doing a little freelance after I retired, and didn't go my way. I was let off with a warning, a strict warning. So I have this, and this is what's left. It's my legacy now. Serving stale beer and failing at cards.
Hey, it's a living. I call. Bets to you.
Other guy calls, next guy calls, and last card's laid down, and you win the bet, you win the hand. New hand's dealt out, and you see him looking at his hand, and he goes, "You have the ancient idiom, know when to hold them, know when to fold them. It's an ancient saying. Very wise man wrote
The
those
next
words
one
down.
is the next line is know when to stay retired, know when to come out of retirement for one last hurrah.
That was Hank Williams, wasn't it? Says the musician.
The Cantor kind of looks and says, I forget who actually wrote it, but I just always remember the words, maybe because I suck at cards." He throws his hand down again and folds. "It's because I like to play it safe." That makes any sense. I made a lot of enemies, and luckily they've left me alone for now until someone else takes their place. But until then, I'm quite content of losing ill-gotten gains on fucking card game. But I do tell you, I do get the itch every now and then, if you know what I mean. I don't know about these books in here. He points to everyone else that came with you. I was like, yeah. Get you a drink from behind the bar. I don't give a shit.
Those guys are what you would call insulation. They would stand between you and any results from a little bit of side work. Looks like you could maybe use a couple upgrades around the bar. Maybe it would be too good for you.
I have been known to do a little consulting every now and then. There's a few things I can get by on if it's bar related, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The task I have in mind is legally distinct from other work you've done in the past.
Okay. I'm interested. I tell you what. New hands played. He takes all the ships and lays them all down. He goes, I'm all in. Let's see what you got. What's your play here? What's your pitch?
I signal over my shoulder to Damone, the mouthpiece that knows the plan. And then I lay out my cards. Hopefully they're bad, because I don't want to win this hand.
Now you're signaling at the wrong guy. I said Hank Williams. It's Kenny Rogers.
We don't know that.
Yeah.
He does.
That's all ancient history.
He's like, that might be him. It's ancient text as far as I'm concerned. So y'all lay out your hands, and he has pocket twos. You just have a 10, a jack.
Looks like your luck's changing already.
So, when that happens, and Mr. Cantor, or rather Mr. Wig, signals for Damone to, okay, do it. So, Mr. Cantor, how familiar are you with the biblical book of Revelations?
I might have read in a Coptic Bible I find on the street every now and then.
And of certain characters within it, 4 in particular, that are known for their equestrian skills.
Ah, yes. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. War on a red horse, famine, well, also known as conquest, then plague, then eventually death.
Yeah, that's them. We're hoping you can find one of them for us.
Find one of the horsemen. Let me tell you, Jimmy, sometimes the horsemen find you. They don't want to be found.
He comes over to the guy and his little pad gadget and shows him a picture of Max, shows him the tracker location. That's death.
And he looks at it and looks at you, and you want me to hunt down this psychopath? Hey,
He's a friend.
He's the reason I was forced into retirement.
So he was the guy that had you sign those NDAs, huh?
Well, no, technically it was the businessman associate of his. I think went by the name Famine. Made me do that, but it was a pretty bad job, I gotta say. And all the cards lay out, and he wins the hand. He goes, "Look at that, gents." He looks at the other gentleman at the table. He's like, "I hate to do this to you, but I'm gonna shut the game down a little early tonight, boys. Okay?" And he hands him some of the earnings that he just won. He goes, "Come back another time, all right, guys. Come
Mr.
back
Kenner,
tonight."
they've had a falling out. The gentleman that had you sign those NDAs has turned on Death there. They're no longer friends.
I see. So, all the other individuals have left the bar. And he actually kind of stands up and he walks over to the liquor cabinet. And he takes one off the shelf and walks to the bar. And he goes, waves y'all over and goes, "Come on, I'm gonna weave you a tale. All right." He's pouring drinks, slides them to whoever comes up to the bar. And he goes, "This is a tale of a man called Death. So, all right, Slick over there in the shiny suit, you were talking about the men of their questions skills. Death did ride a bell horse. It was a custom-made white chopper. You knew when he came in, just reeked of him, cold, calculating. I mean, guy's practically a borderline cyber psycho, don't mind me saying. So the Horsemen would come to me for certain jobs, mainly because at the time I was a nobody. I was expendable, but I knew what I was doing. So eventually, I hear tell of a job. The Horsemen were wanting to go up against none other than the remnants of Arasaka in the city. Easier said than done. All right, let me tell you. I saw where the money was coming from. A little bit of Militech, a little bit of Kangtao, a little bit of Biotechnia, but the majority was coming from Arasaka. They were putting a lot of money into this little organization, this little side project they had going on. I don't know if it was because they had more at stake and wanted more of their assets protected and guarded. Don't know. They were going after a what I can only describe as a data mine. Essentially, they were going to go steal actual servers from a data mine and a data safe in an unknown location in an unknown bunker owned by Arasaka. And my job was to pinpoint the actual location for everything, get them access, get them in and out without anyone knowing. Well, unlike my last hand there, my luck was shit and continues to be shit sometimes. It all went wrong. I found the files, I found what they were at, but I couldn't make it squeaky clean for them to get in and out. They wanted to scrub the job. Not that guy. He went in guns blazing. I mean, bodies stacked high, tons of vehicles destroyed. It was a bloodbath. Of course, Arasaka immediately figured out who did it. And, well, if anything's close to the wrath of God in this city, it's Arasaka on a warpath. So I was approached one night by a pretty pissy-looking businessman, and he had some paperwork for me. Essentially, they were, he shows you who it was. This guy right here came with some paperwork and said they were disowning who they called Death. He was a tumor that had to be excised. At least from their side of the story. I don't know. A lot had happened between that job and when he arrived. So they wanted me to sign some documents. I never heard of them. I never did work for them. Death worked on his own. Here's my severance package. And I bought this bar so I could still make an income. Because once you're in Night City, you never really leave. But that was the only time I met Horsemen and lived. And you're saying you want me to find one for you?
Yeah. Because if we don't, shit around town's going to get a hell of a lot worse than it is. These guys are setting up shop, making moves, planning on taking things over.
Besides, to you, the risk should be minimal. You just need you to find. We won't ask you to interface.
You see him, he reaches under the bar and he actually pulls out a tablet and he slams on the table and goes, all the information you need right there. Every known location ever had, dead drop, base of operations, anything they were using in the city at the time. It's on that right there. Anything new, I have no idea of.
Take the tablet, slide it over to Jane. So tell you what, things go our way. I'll stop back by and play another hand. Let you know the good news.
Well, I'll tell you this right now. I wish you the best of luck. And if they capture you alive, can you do me a favor and tell me I never gave that to you?
I don't even know who you are.
Exactly. Now, excuse me, man, I don't know. I have to get a bar ready to run tonight. It's Thursdays.
Give him the same nod I gave the hot dog man. Hit out.
So from there, you have this information. Do you wish to go to a kind of a place you all know first before going back to the dojo and kind of go over what you've just discovered, or you go straight there?
I think we should look at what we got. Talking to Tomo.
Yeah, we need to check it out first.
All right, so
Make a copy of it if we know how.
So you're actually not that far from.
So we stop at the, what is that place that makes copies?
The UPS store?
Maybe. And then we set the tablet down on top of a copier.
That's right. It works for SD cards, right?
So Jane actually has all that equipment at one of her clinics.
Was it Kinko's?
No one knows of those ancient businesses anymore. So it doesn't take you long to get to one of the old clinics, and all the equipment you would need is there to look what's on that tablet and make copies of it there. It also kind of gives you time to discuss what you think of the current situation, or what to do next.
Which is Master Tanaka says he's going to be hands off once we get Max and do all that. I'm pretty sure that once we get Max, it's going to be hands on. I don't think he's a dishonorable man. I just don't think he's telling us everything. And a little sit-down chat with his doctor, that's not going to fix years of enmity between them. Might make things better, but we'll see. So on this set of documents that we got from Cantor, does anything seem to match the location that we're getting from the tracking beacon?
So yes, there's actually one location that's it almost looks like an exact match of where the beacon is pulsing from right now, and you can tell that it's attached to kind of a old, It's off a current metro tunnel, but it's deep within some abandoned. If you look on old maps, like an abandoned area, but easy to get to,
Easy to get to.
according to your maps.
Hmm. Does this come and get me?
You're not sure.
Do we know anything about the striking beacon that's on him? Looked over at Jane. I mean, how easy would it be for them, the bad guys, to know that he has it on him?
I don't know anything about it. I mean, do I, Peg?
So, unless they did like a full, it's not an easy to access thing. Most things now with devices, things like that, would actually be surgically implanted. And if Max was smart, which it seems that he is, this is definitely not in a easy to find place.
Yeah, but the question is, do they know he has one?
It's got a label on it. It says depositor radar. Yeah, I purposely didn't show that to
No,
the
sorry.
guys at the dojo. But yeah.
So I'm kind of pulling these back up for you. So between the three, so you didn't get to deal with War, Damone. Everyone else did, and he knew Tanaka. He is apparently connected to Arasaka at some point, somehow, some way. Feynman, you've all met. He's definitely a businessman. Doesn't like Max because of obvious reasons. Pegg was the only one that actually had real world ties to Max that you all remember. And if anyone was willing to
For the old world, if I remember.
yes. So if anyone was actually capable of knowing if he had one on him, it would be the Pegg.
That also happens to be the guy that actually showed up at the bunker. Is that true?
Yes. People can confirm that.
All right.
I was really hoping he was blown up.
I couldn't tell you. I saw a lot of bodies, but I frankly thought you guys were in the pile someplace. So here's the deal, and you tell me what you think. Again, I don't think Tanaka is a dishonorable man, but I don't think he has our best interest in mind, and certainly not Max's. The question we have to ask ourselves is how. There are several questions we have to ask ourselves. How much do we care about what happens to Max? How much do we care about these guys' apparent plot to increase their power within the city? How much do we give a damn? I don't think we can trust Master Tanaka to give a damn, aside from the interest of Arasaka and his own family, meaning Jammer. So it's probably not the best move for us to go straight to him with the location. Much as I hate to say it, the best bet of finding out whether this is something we can salvage is to just go there ourselves. I know we're not, for the most part, military trained, and Xander here could blow holes in walls, but the rest of us know, not so much. But this is one of those, it's so stupid nobody would expect it sorts of moments. Yeah. We need to pull Max out of the fire, if indeed it's really Max there and not a trap. And once we've done that, then we can hear from the horse's mouth what the hell's going on.
Even if Max is there, it could be a trap.
Oh yeah, one way or the other. But Tanaka's got an angle to play. Jammer, I don't know. I think she really wants to get Max out, but anything that involves her is going to involve Tanaka. At this point, they can't be avoided. It'll piss her the hell off, but I think she needs to be hands off right now. As much as we could use her help. So what say you all?
It's probably best to leave her out anyways. Anything physical, that exo frame, and it's going to take her another, that sort of thing. It takes weeks to get fully integrated in and used to. So
Mr. Wig and Sparky Alonso. Mr. Wig's over there playing snakes on his phone again, and Sparky is what? Who's up from Tetris?
Wig was just gonna say, what we got everything we need on that pad, right? What do we need other people for?
Yeah, we're gonna find out. It's gonna hurt, but we're gonna find out, aren't we? One thing we ought to do, and we don't have Max to help us out with it, is gear the hell up. If we're gonna go in there, we need to go loaded for bear. We're gonna have to use some of our own contacts, just folks on the street to grab it with the cash we got on hand. Yeah, grenades and ammo and such. And then go do this thing. Alonzo, you didn't say a word. Yeah. Okay. I think you're
Type.
Yeah, you are the stoic type. That's right. You kind of cut out when you unmuted, but I think the stoic type kind of answers the question. And Xander, of course, is like a fight. Yeah, okay.
Xander's already loading up his car.
Yeah. So that looks to be like our quote unquote alleged plan is, given the players and the dynamic involved, try to go after him ourselves. And if we can get Max out alive would be nice, and ourselves alive even better. Then we have a card of our own to play.
Maybe I can get a shinier, heavier pistol.
You would like a +1. Shiny pistols do blazing damage as they, the bullet's so bright.
I paint flames on it. The bullets will go faster.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it looks like y'all have a plan of attack, and you might need Max for this one. So I'll say this: we'll just call it a night on this session. We'll go in guns blazing.
Thank you, Mr. Pegg.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Thank you.
all right.
You say it's a plan, but I don't think it is.
Plans never last past first contact with the enemy anyway.
That's true.
Maybe we could ask a certain street vendor to scope the area out a little bit in advance.
He is everywhere. Yeah.
He does get around, doesn't he?
I like a bratwurst and a map of the square. Thank you.
Thank you, valued customer whom I've never met.
Here, have a napkin. It's got writing all over it.
Yeah. Don't forget your change. It's a tablet with all kinds of information.
I signed this petition thing where this guy, he's a hot dog vendor in New York. And he has to sleep in his van there or else he'll lose his spot because the city's pretty much trying to kick him out, even though he's got legal licenses and stuff.
Dang.
So he's been sleeping in his van for the last 10 years or so, just so he can continue being a hot dog vendor out there.
Yeah.
So it's serious business.
It sounds like it.
It's like the old stories about organized crime and as related to taxi medallions. All right, good deal. So next week is D&D.
Yes.
All right, good deal. And Stephen, I do have a pickup order I was going to do tomorrow. Did you have anything that you want to be picked up?
Yes, sounds good.
Okay, and I'll be by at the normal time.
All right.
I was just thinking about what my next character in Cyberpunk should be. You know, it's unfortunate that it takes so long to roll them up.
Hold on.
I actually, I found a companion app that does it. It has all 3 ways of doing it.
Oh, nice.
Let me see if I can. Yeah, it's just Cyberpunk Red Companion. That's its name.
I threw the news link in the game night chat.
Wow, it's an April Fool's joke, which I've seen surprisingly few today. Kind of a muted April Fool's response.
Yeah, I mean, used to be like big eyes on Overwatch and stuff like that, but I haven't played that game in a long time. So
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Just the one from Elite that Eric posted earlier. That's pretty good.
yeah, I didn't realize it was April Fool's joke at first. I didn't quite get it until I started reading some of the comments, and they were like, "Don't haunt me with things that would be cool," you know. Or something.
You're right. Yeah, nobody knows what's inside those things. That would be pretty. It's like what? Nobody knew.
Are y'all caught up on the Mandalorian?
Yep. Caught up last night.
Good.
And Bad Batch as well.
I'm very behind on that one.
No spoilers then. With Mandalorian, I'm this episode felt like it rolled better than the previous episodes of the season. Yeah, it's been kind of rocky, I thought. But now they're kind of weaving some storylines together, and okay, you know, we'll get a bit of a payoff maybe.
What kind of bird keeps prey alive till the next day when they have hungry kids at home?
Sorry about that. My cat pushed my power button.
I saw your video go away, then you blipped off a little bit later, and I was like, "That's funny."
Oh yeah,
Look over. Was touching the glowing button. It's like,
totally innocent. You know, mine's kind of curled up here in front of the keyboard. Every time I reach out, it's like, okay, big yawn that time. It's either yes, 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 or snap, snap, snap. It wants to play. What I want to know is how that kid survived in there for a day, and why the hell they kind of had to leave him there for a day. Oh no! Oh no! What are we doing? He didn't want to fight. He just grabbed my arm and wrapped his arms around it and went back to sleep. Can I have my hand back, please? Thank you.
No.
That's pretty much his answer, yeah.
Yeah, Renfield comes out pretty soon. That looks like it'll be fun, but I don't know if I'll go to the movies to see it.
Now who?
Renfield,
yeah,
Dracula's sidekick.
yeah.
Oh.
Nicolas Cage plays Dracula.
I hadn't heard anything about it.
It's one of those funny action adventure type movies. It seems, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't take itself seriously.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Wish more movies were like that.
I just like that it's from the perspective of, you know, Dracula's henchman, you know.
Renfield. I think Stephen had mentioned that John Wick 4, 3, 4, whatever.
Yeah, it's 4. I didn't even know they made it.
3 hours long. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
a lot of people I know, they've been like, "Oh, it's awesome."
Not at 3 hours. I'll take a John Wick 4 part 1 and 4 part 2, maybe.
You can do that yourself. You just hit pause and you come back later, you know.
I can't pause the whole movie theater.
Well,
I think they made it as long as they did because I think both Keanu Reeves and the director have been like, "Oh, let's take a bit of a break.
Yeah, let's get it over with. I get that.
I saw a funny article that Keanu Reeves bought all the stunt coordinators' shirts with the number of times they died in the movie.
That'd be cool.
Don't sneeze on me. Don't sneeze on me. Seriously, man. Don't look at me when you're about to sneeze. You sneeze over there. Damn it, cat.
I've heard good things about the D&D movie, which is
It's April 1st, man. It's all.
I mean, I know the last D&D movie was bad, but I still enjoyed it. You know, it was just
well, there's supposed to be a cameo in it for the characters from the D&D cartoon from the 80s.
Seriously.
Yes.
Okay. That is pretty funny.
little barbarian boy on a unicorn in the background.
I don't know if it was if they've gone, what would that be, 40 years ago? Yeah, he's not so little anymore.
Well, it's Bart Simpson rules. You know, he's
Yeah.
been in what, third grade this whole time for 20-something years.
Pretty much.
I've been trying to catch up on Critical Role. I'm so far behind on it. Like they're talking about, you know, Christmas news and the issue I was watching. I was like, wow. Each episode's like 5 hours and got well over 1 million views. And I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, 5 hours. It's whew.
Weekly endeavor for them. Yeah.
Well, we do our games every week and very rarely go over 2 or 3. So
That's why they're professionals, Matt.
must be. They don't have to sleep or anything like that.
Well, they have staff to bring them snacks from off camera, you know.
Right.
Oh, Cedric told me a fun fact today. Did you know Michael Myers' mask is a Captain Kirk mask? Yep. All they did was paint it white.
Yeah, I did know that. The whole reason why they had this grand idea of how to like mask him, kind of like Jason Voorhees. The guy went to the store and all they had were Kirk masks.
I always like it when I learn little things like that. So I think Michael Myers is much cooler now that I know he's wearing a Captain Kirk mask.
Mm-hmm. I come in peace. Hack to kill. Hack to kill.
That's how he catches up with the people he stalks. As soon as the camera's off of him, he starts doing those Captain Kirk combat roles, you know? All right. I'm glad I got to play cards tonight, Peg. Thank you.
Welcome. I wish there was a gambling tab for skills, but alas, there is not.
Oh, there was Streetwise and Deception, I think, maybe, for bluffing.
I thought it'd just be easier if I just said, you won one. You lost this one.
Yeah, works for me. I don't actually know how to play cards anyways.
I think this works.
Hey, you're gonna be a blue deck, and I'll be the red deck. You know, it's like, no, that's not what kind of cards we're playing.
Okay, so I'm playing a black and red magic deck. What are y'all rocking?
Straight flush.
Well, I'll just lay a swamp card down and end my turn.
Go fish.
Yeah, even better. Anyone got any twos? No? Okay. Just show your hand. Are these good? Is this a good hand?
Just be like, wow, I didn't know the numbers went that high.
What does the A mean on this card? Well, this one has it too, but it's red. Is that better or worse?
Red makes you go faster.
All right, y'all.
Well, I've got her these 4 2s.
It only adds up to 8. That's terrible. Fold.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That would be an interesting card game. Everybody's playing their own idea of what card they're playing. It's like Sonic. Kink. Yeah.
One guy's playing spades, one guy's playing hearts, one guy's playing poker, one guy's playing solitaire. So quit taking my cards. I'm not done with them.
You know, this sounds like the perfect setup for an AI training experiment.
We might quite literally break the internet.
It's already broken. Don't worry.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, Chat GPT is taking care of that for you.
Okay. Has anyone actually asked it, will you please fix the internet? I'm curious what the response would be.
It'd probably be like, oh, nothing's wrong with it.
I heard an interesting article where some people had figured a way to get it to say things it's not supposed to say
Mhm.
by having it pretend it's playing a game where it has a certain number of tokens. If it runs out of tokens, it ceases to exist. And the game is to role play as a conspiracy theorist that believes all the conspiracies on the internet. So then they ask it questions, and it has to use all these hokey, far-fetched reasonings it can to justify it. And if it tries not to say it, like, oh, I'm not supposed to say this type of thing, they go, wrong answer, out of character, lost 1 token. And then it will respond with the creepy whatever answer.
Actually, hold on. I'm going to ask them both.
There's another, like they made it pretend to be like a person called Dave or something,
I'm
and
sorry.
it would speak differently too.
Yeah, the one I heard, they called it Dan. So maybe we're talking about the same article. And Dan was like the guy that believes in conspiracy theories that he was supposed to be role playing as or something like that.
Their responses are very disappointing. So ChatGPT, to the question, would you fix the internet, please? As an AI language model, I do not have the ability to physically fix the internet. The internet is a complex network of interconnected devices and systems that require constant maintenance and updates. It is the responsibility of internet service providers, technology companies, and governments to ensure the stability and security of the internet infrastructure. Not my problem. I guess that's actually a very human response. And then
Not my problem, not my monkey.
the Google one, Bard, basically says, I can't fix the internet. It does go on to offer troubleshooting tips, but yeah, I can't fix the internet, period.
It's very pragmatic.
Yeah. There is some. The thing is about these models, I haven't really found, aside from some edge cases, a kind of a use for them. I don't. You can have these kind of one-off amusing moments. And I think the other day we had it, pretend to be a game, like you said. What was it? We had it provide text prompts as though it were like a Zork type game. Who, with the main character, was a goblin named Fred. And on and on. And it did it. It did fine. It was Fred ended up dying in the end because he ate poison mushrooms. But aside from silly stuff like that, okay, it's what do you use it for?
I've seen people use it to write song lyrics and stuff like that, and
But
it's not any worse than what normal pop songs churn out anyway. You know what I mean?
But you kind of hit the nail on the head. It's mediocre. It's average at best. I've used it productively, to kind of get some code ideas. I need a one-liner to do such and such, and it'll pop something out that won't work, but it gives me the idea. Oh yeah, okay, that's a good direction to go. And that's about all the use I've gotten out of it so far. All of the hype that's surrounding it. I do get where people love to be able to just ask questions in natural language, but we've had 20, 30 years of dealing with search engines and reference material before that. These kids these days, reference library, index cards, oh my God, blow them away. How you used to have to find things in the library or an encyclopedia even. I'm not getting it yet. Now, as the models get more complex and they start doing crazy things like, you can talk to it and it actually responds, unlike our Alexa, and Google Google chat boxes. Hello, hey Google, turn on the lights, and 5 minutes later you're still arguing with it.
I'll turn on Gen Desk.
See, whenever I actually walk into Steve's place and Steve, issues that command, he has to argue with it. But here, yeah, it just hears it over the damn thing. Okay.
I've heard people playing things like Call of Duty have been able to yell out things like, Alexa, turn off PlayStation, to cause people on the other team to lose, because they get kicked off, stuff like that,
Yep. This just goes to show you should never trust your critical infrastructure to a smart switch. Alexa, turn off the core servers. Click. Okay.
That's funny. All right. Well, I'm gonna run, guys. It was fun.
All right.
Take care, everybody. Good night. Bye bye.